Gildan Media presents Your Coach in a Box, affordable, life-changing audio programs.
ARIK, The Life of Ariel Sharon, written by David Landau, read by Walter Dixon. Preface. Land of Hope. My grandfather was a Hebrew teacher in Rehovot at the beginning of the last century. Ariel Sharon, corpulent, white-haired, looked up over his reading glasses at the half-full Knesset, the Israeli parliament. Members were listening politely or quietly reading. "I have a deep love for the Hebrew language," he read on in his incongruously high-pitched voice, "for the miracle of its revival, for the historical wellsprings from which it draws its words and phrases." There was no tension in the chamber that afternoon in January 2005. No catcalls, no heckling. A parliamentary moment without politics. Sharon could have asked one of his two deputy prime ministers to represent the government at the largely ceremonial debate marking Hebrew Language Day. But he wanted to speak himself. He had a point to make. Mordechai Scheinemann, Sharon's grandfather, came to Palestine in 1910 and settled with his wife and children in the still tiny Jewish village of Rehovot, southeast of the barely existent Jewish town of Tel Aviv. That made him sort of aristocracy. Not quite a Mayflower man of the first Aliyah, 1882 to 1902, but still an early Zionist pioneer of pre-World War I days. Palestine was a derelict corner of the crumbling Ottoman Empire then. The dream of the Zionist visionary Theodor Herzl, died 1904, that it would one day become a Jewish state, seemed just that, a dream. In his native town, Brest-Litovsk in White Russia, Mordecai was an early convert to Zionism. He became a Hebrew teacher. That was a career choice reflecting real commitment. Hebrew, the ancient language of the Bible and the rabbis, was struggling to reincarnate itself as a modern vernacular. The Zionists promoted it as the language of the new Old Jewish nationalism. But the Zionists themselves were a struggling minority within the Jewish people. Millions of Jews, fleeing Tsarist oppression, set sail for the New World rather than for sandy, sweaty Palestine. Mordechai Scheinemann endured the heat and mosquitoes of Rehovot for 2 years, then packed up, as did so many of the early pioneers, and headed back to Brest-Litovsk. When war broke out, the family fled east, ending up in Tbilisi, Georgia. His faith in Zionism never wavered, though, and he instilled it in his son Samuel. Samuel Scheinemann taught Hebrew too, but, chastened by his father's experience, he studied agronomy at the local university as a practical preparation for his own eventual aliyah. This came more quickly than planned. Walking toward the Tbilisi Zionist Club, where he held his Hebrew classes, one night in 1921, he found the area swarming with security police of the newly formed communist government. He veered away, hastened to the home of his girlfriend.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?